Most people start their mornings without thinking. Coffee first. Sugary juice. A breakfast bar plucked from the package. Feels normal. It feels convenient. Feels like life. But here's the hidden truth. Not all morning habits are harmless. The Longevity Signal shares educational content inspired by the published work of Dr. William Li and other global medical and nutrition researchers. This information is based on publicly available scientific research and is for general education only. It does not replace professional medical advice. Some habits, repeated every day, quietly trigger stress in your body before your day even begins. Some activate inflammatory pathways, disrupt metabolic balance, and strain your liver in ways that often go unnoticed for years. Because the liver, this remarkable organ, is not just a processor of food. It is a control center, a biochemical hub, a silent guardian managing toxins, regulating hormones, balancing energy, and orchestrating metabolism. When your liver is overloaded, the effects ripple through your body in subtle but profound ways. Fatigue deepens. Digestive issues linger. Hormone levels fluctuate unpredictably. Weight accumulates where you least want it, around the midsection and internal organs. And yet most people never notice it. Medical research shows that the first thing you consume in the morning sends a biochemical signal to your liver. It is not merely food. It is instruction. Every bite, every sip, every calorie communicates, all is safe, or prepare for stress. Imagine starting every morning by telling your liver, in effect, that the body is under threat. Your liver responds immediately. Enzymes ramp up. Cells work overtime. Inflammatory signals rise. Blood sugar spikes. Energy becomes unstable. Hormone signals fluctuate. All of this before you have even taken a shower. Before you have read an email. Before you have faced the day. And repeated daily, this quiet strain becomes cumulative. It is not dramatic. It is not sudden. But over weeks, months, and years, it lays the foundation for chronic metabolic stress. Now, here is the most important part. You do not need to feel unwell for damage to be occurring. You do not need symptoms. Your body is adaptive. It masks the stress. It compensates. But the silent damage continues. After 40, and especially after 50, these morning signals become exponentially more important. Your liver is no longer operating at the same speed it did at 20. Detox pathways slow. Fat metabolism shifts. Hormonal signals adjust. The body becomes more conservative, more cautious, more sensitive to what it receives in the first hours of the day. This is not failure. It is biology recalibrating, waiting, listening. And what you feed it in that critical window dictates how the rest of the day will unfold. Sugary drinks, ultra-processed cereals, preserved bars, even a coffee loaded with sweeteners or flavored syrups. They trigger immediate stress. They spike insulin. They force the liver to work harder than it should. They create inflammation that lingers long after the food has left your digestive tract. Every repeated exposure strengthens that stress. It becomes a habit, a hidden rhythm of your metabolism that most people never even recognize. This is why the wrong morning habit is not just a bad choice. It is a daily signal that shapes your long-term health. And yet there is hope. Because the liver and metabolism respond to signals, not punishment. If the right signal is delivered consistently, every morning, profound changes can happen over time. Medical research supports this. Small, consistent, liver-friendly habits, especially in the morning, can reduce chronic inflammation, improve fat metabolism, stabilize blood sugar, and restore energy. This is not magic. This is biology. Your liver responds to clarity, to predictable, consistent, supportive messages. Not extremes, not shocks, not gimmicks. And the solution, surprisingly, is deceptively simple. A single cup. One daily habit. One intentional choice at the start of the day. This small adjustment does not just affect weight. It does not just affect digestion. It does not just affect energy. It affects your liver. It affects your metabolism. It affects your hormones. It affects the invisible processes that govern aging, fat storage, energy balance, and inflammation. Even visceral fat, the fat hidden around internal organs, begins to respond, not because you have exercised aggressively or cut calories drastically, but because your metabolism is finally receiving a consistent, intelligent signal. And this is why the first thing you do every morning matters more than any other meal of the day. It is the foundation. The signal that tells your cells, you are safe. You can function optimally. Or if ignored, prepare for stress. Store energy. Protect yourself. By understanding this and by making one simple science-based change, You can influence decades of metabolic health with a single intentional choice each morning. Your liver, your metabolism, your hormones, and even your energy levels all listen to the first signal you provide. And after years of repeating poor morning choices, it is never too late to reset. Because biology is not static. It is responsive. It adapts. It listens. Even at 50. Even at 60. Every sip. Every bite. Every small choice tells your body who is in charge. Stress or clarity. Control or chaos. Energy or fatigue. And the first step toward long-term liver health begins the moment you decide what to put in your body in the morning. Inside your body, morning is not a neutral moment. It is a biological crossroads. While you sleep, your body enters a repair state. Liver enzymes shift toward detoxification. Inflammatory signals quiet down. Cells begin clearing metabolic waste accumulated from the day before. Hormones reset their rhythm. By the time you wake up, your body is still finishing that work. This is why the first thing you consume matters more than most people realize. From a biological perspective, your body is asking a single question in the morning. Is the environment safe, or should I prepare for stress? The liver is the first organ to answer that question. It receives everything absorbed from the digestive tract before it reaches the rest of the body. It decides what to store, what to convert, what to neutralize, and what to release into circulation. And it does all of this based on chemical signals. Not intention, not belief, not motivation. When sugar arrives first thing in the morning, especially without fiber, protein, or protective compounds, the liver interprets it as a stress signal. Insulin spikes sharply. Fat metabolism pauses. Inflammatory pathways activate. Detox processes are interrupted. This is not speculation. Medical research consistently shows that repeated morning glucose spikes increase liver fat accumulation over time, even in people who are not overweight. This is how metabolic dysfunction begins quietly. Not with excess calories alone, but with poorly timed signals. The liver becomes busier, more reactive, less efficient. Over time, it begins storing fat inside its own tissue. This is the early foundation of fatty liver changes, insulin resistance, and chronic inflammation. And the most dangerous part is how subtle it feels. You might feel a burst of energy at first, then a crash. Then hunger returns sooner than expected. Then fatigue sets in. Your body is not failing. It is responding exactly as biology designed it to respond to stress. After 40, and especially after 50, this response becomes stronger. Muscle tissue becomes less responsive to insulin. Fat tissue becomes more efficient at storage. The liver becomes more cautious, prioritizing survival over flexibility. This is why habits that felt harmless in younger years suddenly produce different outcomes. The biology has changed. The rules are different. And yet, the solution is not restriction. It is better signaling. Medical research shows that when the liver receives anti-inflammatory, polyphenol-rich signals in the morning, its behavior changes measurably. Oxidative stress decreases. Mitochondrial efficiency improves. Fat metabolism resumes earlier in the day. Insulin sensitivity stabilizes. This is why certain morning drinks and foods consistently show benefits across populations. Not because they burn fat aggressively, but because they restore metabolic communication. Polyphenol, found in green tea, certain herbs, berries, and plant compounds, interact directly with liver enzymes. They activate antioxidant pathways. They reduce inflammatory gene expression. They improve how the liver processes fat and glucose simultaneously. Fiber-rich foods slow glucose absorption, preventing insulin spikes that disrupt liver function. Hydration improves blood flow, allowing the liver to clear waste more efficiently. None of these effects are dramatic on their own. But together, repeated daily, they change the internal environment the liver operates within. Medical research shows that markers of inflammation, liver stress, and metabolic dysfunction can begin improving within weeks when morning signals change. This is why the scale often fails to tell the full story. You may not lose weight immediately, but internal fat distribution begins to shift. Liver fat decreases. Insulin sensitivity improves. Energy becomes steadier throughout the day. The body is not reacting to force. It is responding to clarity. This is also why extreme morning habits, skipping hydration, flooding the system with sugar, or relying on stimulants alone, create long-term imbalance. They confuse the metabolic rhythm. They force the liver to switch tasks too quickly. Repair is interrupted. Storage signals dominate. Over years, this confusion compounds. But when the morning signal becomes consistent and supportive, the liver remembers how to function efficiently. It is not broken. It is simply responding to what it has been told repeatedly. And once the signal changes, the response follows. Not overnight, but reliably. This is the quiet power of biological alignment. You are not fighting your body. You are reminding it what safety feels like. And when the liver senses safety, it releases stored energy instead of clinging to it. That is the difference between struggle and cooperation, between forcing change and allowing it. And it begins with what you choose to introduce into your body in the first moments of the day. There is a moment, quiet, internal, and rarely noticed, when the body stops resisting and begins cooperating again. It does not arrive with fireworks. It does not announce itself with dramatic symptoms disappearing overnight. It arrives subtly. Energy becomes steadier instead of spiking and crashing. Hunger becomes calmer, more predictable. Sleep deepens without effort. Inflammation softens, not all at once but enough to feel different in the morning. This is not motivation. This is physiology shifting state. The body has not been fixed. It has been reassured. For years, many people believe their metabolism is broken, that their liver is damaged beyond repair, that aging means decline is unavoidable. But medical science tells a more accurate story. The human body is adaptive far longer than we were taught to believe. What changes with age is not the capacity to heal, but the margin for confusion. After 50, the body no longer tolerates mixed signals. It demands clarity. This is why small, consistent changes outperform extreme interventions. Why gentle precision beats aggressive force. Why biology responds better to rhythm than punishment. The liver in particular is not passive. It is one of the most intelligent organs in the body. It senses nutrient timing. It reads hormonal patterns. It adjusts metabolism based on perceived threat or safety. When it senses constant stress, erratic eating, inflammatory foods, sharp insulin spikes, it shifts into defense mode. Storage over release. Protection over flexibility. But when the signals change, the response changes. Anti-inflammatory compounds lower oxidative stress. Stable glucose signals restore insulin sensitivity. Polyphenol activates cellular repair pathways. Hydration improves detox efficiency. And slowly the liver exits survival mode. This is where real transformation begins, not at the level of willpower but at the level of cellular trust. Medical research shows that when liver fat decreases, even modestly, systemic inflammation drops. Immune signaling improves. Cardiovascular markers stabilize. Brain energy metabolism improves. This is why people often report clearer thinking before visible weight loss. Why joints feel better before the scale changes. Why fatigue lifts before dramatic lab results improve. The body prioritizes survival systems first. Aesthetics come later. This is also why quick fixes fail. They attempt to override biology instead of working with it. They create short-term stress in exchange for temporary results. They confuse the system rather than calming it. But when the body feels safe, it releases what it no longer needs. This includes stored fat. This includes inflammatory tension. This includes metabolic rigidity. And it does so without violence. One of the most overlooked truths in medicine is this. Healing feels boring at first. There is no adrenaline. No dramatic struggle. No heroic suffering. There is consistency. There is repetition. There is quiet improvement. And for many people, that quietness is uncomfortable, because it challenges the belief that health must be earned through pain. But biology does not reward pain. It rewards alignment. The body is not impressed by intensity. It responds to accuracy. This is why the morning matters so much. Not because it is magical, but because it sets the tone for the entire metabolic day. It tells your liver whether to prepare for chaos or cooperation. It tells your immune system whether to stay defensive or stand down. It tells your metabolism whether to store or release. Every morning is a message. And over time, messages become identity. This is the deeper truth behind longevity research. Behind dietary patterns associated with long life. Behind populations that age with strength instead of fragility. They are not eating perfectly. They are signaling clearly. They are not chasing extremes. They are respecting rhythm. And this is where control quietly returns. Not through fear of disease. Not through obsession with numbers. But through understanding. When you understand what your body is responding to, choices stop feeling restrictive. They start feeling logical. You are no longer fighting aging. You are guiding it. The liver does not need to be punished into health. It needs to be reminded what safety looks like. And when it recognizes that signal, consistently, calmly, it responds the way it always has. By restoring balance. by releasing excess, by protecting longevity. This is not about perfection. It is about direction. And direction repeated daily becomes destiny. Your body has not forgotten how to heal. It has been waiting for clearer instructions.